Hey everybody, welcome back to Pixel Junkies. You're listening to the Pixel Junkies podcast.
Hello.
They're also watching it. Hi everybody.
I'm Rory DC. I'm one of your hosts.
I've never seen somebody take the sails, the wind out of Rory's sails quite like that before. Like normally you talk and Rory just keeps plowing on ahead like some sort of raging bull, but right then you managed to actually like silence him for a second. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Who are you guys?
Oh, I'm Rory's friend.
That Fargore looks like a fucking like something out of a car, like a crankshaft with like a hammer stuck on.
What's a Fargore?
A Fragor is a hammer. Anyway, we're playing Warframe, and I'm very new at it, so forgive me if you're some turbo max level dude.
Nobody ever watching this
Yeah, I know.
is.
But if you play a lot of Warframe, Thomas, then forgive me.
I'm Adam. I'm one of your hosts, and Aaron's playing.
Yeah, I'm Aaron.
Oh boy, do we have
Episode 170. We kind of gave up on it.
episode 170 for you today.
Hey Adam.
We've got the best 170 we've ever done.
Adam, do you like Guardians of the Galaxy?
The movies or the
man.
comics?
The movies.
Yeah, I like them a lot.
Well,
They're great.
Are you?
They might be about to change.
What were you going to say if you
because
said
their
comics?
director, James Gunn, was just fired.
Why?
Because
Why
of Twitter. Don't get Twitter! Stop getting Twitter!
Yes.
What happened?
So he tweeted out some stuff that was deemed offensive. I'm gonna get the tweet here
I have
for you.
the
Right,
tweets.
Andrew's got it.
I have an imjured.
Andrew's
looked
got
for
it.
the
We're a
tweets.
regular TMZ over here.
I looked for the tweets, and in like 20 articles, they were just like, "He got fired over Twitter." Like,
Yeah,
where's
exactly,
the
yeah.
tweets? Show me the fucking tweets.
Well, because some of the tweets aren't bad, but some of them really are, and you can. I know last week we were talking about some lady getting
Jessica Price
getting fired for her tweets.
Yeah, and just to summarize, we agreed that although we don't agree that we would fire her, we think any company has the right to fire anybody over basically whatever they want.
Yeah,
Well, you guys agreed. I kind of.
Yeah, I thought that was
Adam
ironic. With,
also said that though.
with James Gunn's tweets is like he had a response to when Roseanne's show got canceled, and he said we need clarification on like what freedom of speech is and isn't. Like, she has the freedom to say what she wants, but NBC also have the freedom to fire her over it. So like, it's funny
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
think
of
maybe
back around.
James Gunn just didn't understand. I don't think we need clarification. I think James Gunn needs clarification, which now he has in a sense of the word.
If I ever become a celebrity,
Uh-huh.
I will continue to not have Twitter. People
Yeah.
are like, you should get Twitter. People. It's like, why would they're already seeing me in movies? I'm famous enough. I don't need the daily gratification to build my brand. Like, and I'm not gonna risk saying something stupid on Twitter and ruin it all.
You're really
Exactly.
Chris
So
My
tell
mouth
us-
fucking shut.
So what stupid thing did
Cut down
James Gunn
trees.
say, Andrew?
well, he's got a whole bunch of tweets. They range from things like
Let me guess. He thought that I don't know. He probably thought that Episode 8 was a half decent movie, right?
no.
He says
actually-
it's good, so Disney fires him.
Actually, he said people complaining about the movie should get therapy.
Oh, really?
Yep.
But that wasn't that was an
this
unrelated
isn't the thing that got him
Yeah,
fired.
yeah,
He also said anybody complaining about Mary Jane's race in the new Spider-Man movie, their life is too good. So, knowing that, let's talk about other things he said in the past. This hotel shower is the weakest ever. Felt like a 3-year-old was peeing on my head. Watching Trapped in
That's
the
funny.
Closet, R. Kelly's second best video after the one where he urinates on a child.
Yeah, if you don't, that's a R. Kelly.
Yeah.
Does he urinate on a child?
Probably
It-
not.
in real life,
Well, it sure as hell
Does
is
he?
that's
James
what R.
Gunn's
Kelly.
fault for
You guys don't know about R. Kelly pissing on kids?
I'm not
Or-
a huge R. Kelly follower.
Oh well, this
R.
won't
Ke-
help it.
I started with Remix to Ignition with R. Kelly, and I stopped
Yeah.
with Trapped in the Closet, the hip opera. And those are really the only two
He
things
pissed on a kid, as I recall. Like in reality,
I don't even know what R.
That's
Kelly is.
that's gross.
that's a little unusual. Carry on though.
I like they did the wholesome 2-year-old down. Well, don't but you know what I mean.
Oh,
Like I just imagine
sorry, Adam, you're fired for child molestation or whatever.
Go join James Gunn in the unemployment line.
But he also does things like leading in votes on which American Idol contestant I should rape.
Okay.
Sanjaya with 12 votes, followed by Constantine with 3.
That many people voted?
I don't know. There's a wide range of things here.
Especially don't
that's just
do it
dark
anyway
humor.
because it makes you. It means you're a shitty human being if you joke about rape.
The Expendables was so manly, I fucked the shit out of the little pussy boy next to me. The boys are back in town.
I didn't see the Expendables. I don't think I can fully appreciate that joke.
No. Wait, did you say the Expendables is so weak?
Manly.
What did he get fired for that?
not.
It's
It's pretty
hilarious.
Some of it is funny, and some of it is like, oh, he's talking about raping child.
It's just dark humor. There's clearly no like malice involved.
Yes, but it's also Disney that fired him.
Yeah. Like, I can understand why Disney would not want that kind of personality, associated with
when
their brand,
were these
but-
tweets posted?
Years ago.
Some of them are
2008.
Some of them are. There's a big list of like offensive things he tweeted,
can there
but
be
he
a
was.
cutoff?
I believe he was fired for some of his recent tweets. Do I have that correct? Wasn't there some recent ones that were also jokes about rape and pedophilia generally? Because you've read out a bunch, and none of them are the ones that I remember from the thing. So this is his regular
I think they made
content.
those up, Rory.
What?
I think they made those up.
Rape and pedophilia.
I burnt my tongue on an enchilada. Fucking Mexicans. Laughter is the best medicine. That's why I laugh at people with AIDS.
Can we have a
It's not even
cutoff?
funny.
Can we have a cutoff? Like, if something happened 10 years ago, you can't get fired for it.
It's a weak joke.
Can we like?
No!
Yes, it's dumb.
If something happened to...
People change.
I
People
like the
change a
idea of
lot.
Hitler looking at a watch and being like, okay, 3, 2, 1, and he comes back out and he's like, it's been 10 years! And everyone's like, God damn it, we were so close!
I meant specifically like in a social media presence. Like
Yeah,
if you
I
made
know what you mean.
if you made a tweet 10 years ago that says "fuck Mexicans" because you burnt your tongue, you should be able to get fired over it because shit happens in 10 years. Whether or not you still believe in whatever the hell you were trying to make a point across back then.
I mean...
People change.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of talking about these kind of stories at all because I feel like I'm not really qualified to talk about, freedom of speech versus, what is and isn't a joke. I speak to my own
Do you know what
taste.
is a joke?
What?
A joke is anything you want to be a joke, and freedom of speech is everything.
Yeah, well, let me make
Well,
this
thankfully,
point.
Adam, there are no qualifications to talk about this.
Yeah, there are no qualifications.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm not... Anyway.
Let
whatever.
me make this point. Because in 2008, the MCU hadn't even really started yet. We had just gotten Iron Man. If that even came out in 2008.
Yep.
That's right.
James Gunn, wherever he was in his life, was absolutely not at the helm of one of like the most highest grossing movie franchises in history. Never mind had any sort of contract with Disney. So like being able to I should be able to go on Twitter and make really dark jokes. But if in 10 years I'm working for Disney for whatever reason,
Yes,
should I be able to be penalized for that, for something I made before?
that's up to your employer.
That's up to your employer.
But
yeah.
that's dumb. That seems
But
really
that
dumb
should
to
be
me.
up to your employer, shouldn't it? You don't want to put laws on that.
Yeah, but
that-
when you start working for a company, they're like, okay, you have to follow this criteria, you have to act in this way. You
you're
should
saying
say
it
these
it shouldn't be retroactive.
Yeah,
is what you're
like there's
saying.
a certain format to how you can present yourself in the public. That shouldn't be retroactive.
That's
to
part of
things
the reason ex-cons have such a hard time getting work.
You know what? Aaron makes a good point on that.
that makes more sense if you're a criminal, but if you're just speaking your mind in a public forum before you have a job.
But this is Disney.
Yeah.
You'd have a stronger point if this was like Just for Laughs Comedy Festival that dropped him from an act.
Yeah,
This is
I mean,
Disney,
yes,
and
it's
he is
Disney,
making
but-
jokes about raping underage people.
Oh,
Also, the Twitter mob got a hold of this stuff. And the
Can I-
Twitter mob is the most damaging thing in existence.
So I'm not going to speak to because I agree that Disney was perfectly in their right to hire and fire.
Yeah, and I do
representatives
as
too.
well. They can hire and fire anybody for whatever reason they
But
want. I just think it's dumb.
on a more broad basis, I do think that people in society nowadays need to chill out a little bit and recognize that sometimes it is just a joke, and it's better even if it's not to your taste, because there's plenty of jokes that I've heard that are not to my taste. Just kind of grit your teeth and say, you know what, not
Especially-
for me, and then kind of walk away.
Especially James Gunn. He's made 2 movies. Both were great in the MCU, and you've worked with him for 4 or 5 years at this point. Like, I feel like you should have a good cross section of his humor at this point.
Or
you know?
or at least give him the chance to be like, hey, can you I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe that was a conversation they had behind closed doors.
Yeah,
I would hope
there
that
was
Disney
something
wouldn't
that
just
happened.
fire him because of mob mentality. It would be more, something to the effect of, oh, you read out these tweets like some people. It's becoming a big publicity thing. We want to get ahead of this. Can you just write out an apology or say, that was a different person? Sorry if I offended anybody.
He did do that, by the way.
Oh, did he?
No, yeah,
Again, I don't know anything about this story.
he did release a statement.
I don't know anything about this story.
This was a rough week for Twitter. I don't know if Andrew, you might have heard that.
I think every week's a rough week for
that
Twitter.
Mark Duplass also had a rough time because he
Who?
tweeted out. He's an actor, Mark Duplass, and he tweeted out. He said,
Why is it
he
Marky
said,
Floss?
he's like a liberal guy, and he's like, hey, if you're interested in any conservative guys, like I know this guy Ben Shapiro, he helped me out once.
Mm-hmm.
Check him out. He's a genuine dude. And people were really upset about that because people don't like Ben Shapiro.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's on the opposing side.
And
if you don't think my way, you are my enemy.
And so he had to retract his statement. He's like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have never tweeted that.
Yeah.
That thing that was
How dare I have an opinion?
really, really bad. I don't support transphobia.
Also, this week it was bad for Twitter because Donald Trump continues to exist as a human being and write things on Twitter.
Is he
Sorry,
bad
Adam,
at
I might
Twitter?
have to fire you again.
He's
for
actually
having an
quite
opinion.
good at Twitter, but the stuff that he puts out is garbage. Like, it's garbage in the terms of I don't like it, but he's actually very, very good at using Twitter. He's like,
Was that
Is he
super
funny?
real?
No, but
He's not funny.
He's not funny at all. But all of his stuff, like
He's treasonous.
he knows how. I don't want to get into politics, but even though I'm bringing it up, but
Was that poop one real, Adam, or was that fake?
what?
The poop one.
I'm pretty sure it was fake.
The tweet was, I mean, it might have been fake, but it totally could have been something Trump would have said. And the tweet was, you ever have a poop so big it feels kind of gay?
Yeah, no,
That was a joke.
That was a joke. Yeah.
But that's funny. But
Sorry, you're fired.
But he's very good at because he knows his supporter base very, very well. He knows the people who are going to vote for him and who are going to be the most vocal, and he's very good at using the language that those people speak and using it very, very well. He's him or somebody working for him is a very good knows public relations to a certain extent, at least as far as it comes to Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Right on, yeah. Don't get Twitter.
No.
If you're someone who people want to tweet at, don't get Twitter.
GOG had a bad week, too. I don't know if you've been following this.
I didn't follow this at all.
Goodoldgames.com.
Yeah.
Go there for all your gaming needs, especially retro titles.
And DRM free.
DRM free! Anyway, actually, we're
trespass
probably, super Gamergate supporters now because we've just recommended their site.
Oh, damn. It's
Yeah.
amazing how it creeps up on you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We were the villains the
Postal
whole
2,
time.
I don't know if you guys have played Postal.
Yeah.
I know the
before.
game.
Yeah.
Is that the
So,
one where we're on the bike hucking newspapers at cars?
no, that's Delivery
Can't wait for that movie.
Boy?
It's
Okay.
definitely
Paperboy.
not. It's
Oh,
definitely
okay.
not like Paperboy. Trust me.
Okay.
The,
But
Yeah,
you're part
it's-
of the postal service.
We did a
right?
special in it, Adam. You run around and kill people and piss on them and stuff.
You go Postal.
That doesn't sound like
Remember
the
that?
postal service
Remember
at all.
you burnt down a guy's house and there was a dog in it and you felt bad?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then you
Was I
beat him.
playing it?
Yeah, you were playing it.
Oh.
all right. Postal 2.
So, yeah, it came out on GOG.
Okay, yeah.
They
Right on.
tweeted out a picture of the game,
Uh-huh.
and there was a, I guess in the game, there's a tombstone, and it says game journalism on it.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a very deep game.
And now that
Deep and
journalism is
thought-provoking
a
gaming
Okay. Yeah. Of course.
experience.
and now that journalism is a thing, they
Oh,
got
wait,
fired
anyway.
on Twitter.
Hang on, I think
Gaming-
I remember this game. Is this the one that's like you go to like the game developer's own headquarters and you can like
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this game
Right,
now.
Yes. That's the one. Yeah. So.
Anyway, people don't like it when you say gaming journalism is bad because it's your side or the enemy.
But it kind of
Gaming
is bad- it kind of is
criticism
bad
of
right now.
gaming journalism is not the exclusive domain of Gamergate.
Or Jim Sterling.
It existed
Well, no,
long before.
Yeah, but it's the
What is with
anti-Gamergate
this?
crowd that are
I like that because this dialogue began in the late 90s. It's still relevant now.
that are
But that-
vehemently for games journalism.
No, but that's my point. What I'm
Okay.
saying is like if you're criticizing games journalism, it doesn't mean you're a Gamergate supporter.
yeah,
You're
right.
It's unrelated because criticizing games journalism existed before Gamergate.
Can we
yeah.
briefly
Also,
just-
game journalism nowadays is dog shit.
They
can we brief? For the most part, it is because it's either you're either our outlets like IGN, it seems like they're big outlets are constantly getting bullied and blacklisted or making deals with large AAA developers, and so the smaller guys are getting chewed up by smaller websites that promote stuff like gambling. Jim Sterling did a really good video about I forget the name of the companies, but all about how small games journalism outlets will shoehorn in gambling references and references to gambling sites as part of their as a part of the article in order to create revenue or create traffic for these.
What is that called?
Gamblers.
There's a name on that.
Yeah, I can't.
I also don't remember.
Is it like inline advertisement, something like that?
It's a cool bike.
Yes, I think that is right. But I will say, because of the bad state of gaming journalism, it has also given some, in my opinion, unfair criticisms of game journalists.
Sure.
More weight.
Yeah.
I think the example that always comes to mind for me is Dean Takahashi, that instance with Cuphead, where he played Cuphead poorly.
Yep.
And people say, well, if you can't, play games, you shouldn't be reviewing games. Of course, he wasn't reviewing Cuphead, and also, you could spend your whole life playing RPGs, and you could be dog shit at platformers, right? And you could still be a legitimate games critic.
Yeah, although I'm not going to discredit that, because I'm not going to discredit somebody's ability to play games. And at no point did I say he's a bad journalist for a video games journalist.
You skill shaming, bro?
What I said is you are very terrible at this game, and this is a very simple part of the game that a child could master.
Oh yeah, I wasn't calling you out. I was,
I'm just saying,
you're still fine.
He's still terrible, and he should really feel bad about his performance there, because that's like.
But he does. In fact, he posted the video. Right?
Oh, okay.
It was his company that posted it.
I think the argument could be made that maybe Dean was not the best person to get.
He was not
to
the good
play that
person
game.
to play that game. That's that argument should be made.
Can we also just because we brought it up, just briefly explain what Gamergate is in relevance to this conversation?
Well, I think you're kind of sort of fighting an uphill battle, because I don't think that so Andrew, are you trying to tell me that people are bringing Gamergate into it? Because I don't think Gamergate is what people should be jumping on with this postal thing. I don't think it's related enough.
You're right. It's not, but it's like it's the other side of the coin.
Oh,
right?
I'm with you. Yeah, I understand.
It's Gamergate versus anti-Gamergate sort of thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
if you call out games journalism,
yeah,
one assumes that you are
a Gamergate supporter. Okay, yes. Yeah. And so the people who made Postal, then they assume are Gamergate supporters.
Yes.
And
well, actually, they're assuming GOG is supportive of Gamergate.
Why?
Because they tweeted out the advertisement for the game that they're selling on their site that sells video games.
Come on.
Anyway, it got such negative press, I guess, from anti-Gamergate.
Okay, yeah.
That GOG had to come out and issue an apology, and they came out and said we're not part of an abusive movement like Gamergate or all that.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's what it is. That's Twitter.
Don't get Twitter! What are you doing? Stop having Twitter.
Pardon me.
That was kind of loud on the thing.
I gotta sneeze, man. What do you want me to do?
No, I know. It's just funny how loud it was.
Anyways,
I have to sneeze.
Twitter sucks. Don't use it. Adam and Aaron like the Clone Wars.
Yes, I liked it a lot.
I think I liked him more than Aaron.
Tell us.
It's back.
It's back.
So to briefly explain this, the Star Wars: The Clone Wars, for those of you who don't know, was a cartoon series put out by Lucasfilm.
It's good,
and it was a children's cartoon series that focused on the Clone Wars that took place between Episode 2 and Episode 3 of Star Wars, kind of exploring that era of stuff, because you don't get to see it in the movies. Obviously, Episode 2 begins the Clone Wars, and Episode 3 ends it. It started off like most kids' TV shows that are kind of serialized, or most TV shows, dog shit. But eventually, by the second season, it had found itself, and there is some pretty good television in there, especially for a kids show. It is very violent for a kids show, because if I remember, there's one scene where Jedi Master Ki-Adi Mundi, who's like a good guy, is fighting Geonosians, and he says, I quote, "Bring up the flamers," and then they flamethrower the Geonosians like Vietnam, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. And so there's like, you see a scene where like Anakin's riding along, and he's like, "What's going on down there?" And you see a bunch of like Geonosians on fire, fleeing this cave, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Yeah, that was great.
So eventually the show ran for 5 seasons. They were all pretty good. I mean, obviously there were some hits and misses and what have you. Eventually it ended when Disney bought out Lucasfilm, and they ended the show after its 5th season kind of on a cliffhanger, because there's a lot of stuff that hadn't been resolved, and they hadn't got to the Battle of Coruscant, which is when Episode 3 takes place. And so eventually, you know, a large part of season 6 had already been made, and so there was a bunch of unfinished episodes and stills and stuff that Disney eventually kind of put out as kind of like the I forget what they, like, it was like kind of like an unaired season 6. They put it out on Netflix, and it was pretty good, but a lot of it wasn't finished, so it's very rough. Then Star Wars Rebels came out, which is a good show. We've talked about it before. And yesterday, or the day before, we got a confirmation that they are bringing back Star Wars The Clone Wars. I don't know if it's going to be Season 6 or 7, if they're just going to ignore Season 6. But it looks good.
It does look good.
The trailer is really, really good, especially, again, considering that it's a kid show. But I feel like we shouldn't say that, because, you know, kid shows nowadays are actually, like, the writing is really fucking good, as you'll see with like Gravity Falls or Steven Universe.
I haven't seen either.
100%. And it's going to be on Disney's new streaming service.
Oh, fuck.
Probably not on Netflix.
Is it coming out
on Netflix?
Is it coming out on DVD at all?
Well,
I
eventually, probably.
Okay, good. I'll buy it then to complete my collection.
Like, but Disney, of course, is going to be trying to make their streaming service as desirable as possible.
Yeah.
You don't have to be buying nothing.
Yeah, I don't want to complete the collection.
Oh.
Pirate all the other seasons too.
So I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. The character design looks different. In terms of Anakin has a different design. It's closer to his. Not only is it closer to the Episode 3 design, but it's also like just different. You can tell that after like 5 or 6 years of improving their animation.
So it's a continuation.
Yes,
yeah, I would assume it's Season 7.
Yeah, because it does take place fairly late in the Clone Wars, because Ahsoka is big now.
So they either retconned the ending, or it never actually finished.
It didn't finish.
It didn't finish.
Why not?
The ending to the Clone Wars is Episode 3.
Yeah.
No, but
the first 10 minutes of Episode 3 is the ending to the Clone Wars.
The show didn't have like a definitive end point.
No.
That's kind of weird.
It just ended because they thought
Disney bought it.
Because they were thought that Season 6 was happening. They had already have half of Season 6 basically like in production, and then Disney bought them out and canceled the show and shifted everyone over to Rebels in order to. I'm not sure why they shifted to Rebels. I think they wanted an entirely new property, like Disney's want to do. Mm-hmm. Holy shit, we got the cool Get Along game.
And then in a few years, they can look like the good guys when they bring it back.
Yeah. On their new streaming service.
Service.
Bring back a show literally everybody was screaming for. To become the good guy, but put it on your streaming service.
Yes, exactly,
exclusively.
Oh, Jesus. That's why they brought it back.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. Yeah, they brought it back for that. It wouldn't be surprised if who knows, they could do Firefly Season 2 now.
Yeah.
Right?
I would suspect that we'll see all the Disney properties removed from Amazon, and I don't know if there's anything on Amazon. Removed from Netflix.
But definitely removed from Netflix, yeah. Anything they can get their hands on, probably. And honestly, with all of that, that's a large enough catalog to make a very good streaming service.
Yeah,
sure.
Truth be told.
Yep.
Stuff
like iCarly and Hannah Montana.
Well, first off, iCarly was Nickelodeon, you asshole.
I don't know what iCarly is.
It was actually a pretty decent show, for what it was.
Oh, is that what it was?
But speaking of other, we got a couple of different kind of trailers dropped this week. One that's not on the list I want to very briefly touch on is the new Dragon Ball Super movie got an English and Japanese trailer dropped today at the same time, which is nice because sometimes they don't do that. The Japanese trailer comes out way before the English trailer.
They don't give a fuck.
But
they know how many weebs there are.
They do. It's interesting because in Japan, of the big three of Naruto, One Piece, and Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball's the smallest. It's the least popular. It's still very popular, but it's like it's not nearly as. In America, it's the other way. In North America, it's the other way around, where Dragon Ball is the most popular, and is Naruto and One Piece, they're not nearly as popular. So basically, the movie is about Broly, which, if you know Dragon Ball, he's been in 3 other movies, and not only is it, I mean, Broly's kind of just an okay villain. I don't know why everyone's obsessed with him, because he's just kind of like a Hulk. It's like the Dragon Ball version of the Hulk, where he's just a ragey guy who's really strong and nobody can beat him. That's his character. I don't know why.
He's Goku's dad.
No, actually, although they did share in like beds together when they were newborn. Anyway, don't worry about it.
James gone over here.
So it's interesting in one regard, because like they keep bringing back this character. He's appeared in more movies than any other villain. And it's also interesting because it looks like the animation style has changed, or they've changed the animation team from the TV show, because the old Dragon Ball Z movies had the same animation team as the show.
Oh, please tell me it's shitty anime CG.
So part of
like 4 frames a second.
Some of it looks like it's CG. Others looks like it's drawn like traditionally without the use of It's not drawn digitally. It's drawn like on pen and paper.
Yeah.
Which is weird because nobody does that anymore. But I don't know. It could just be me, but it honestly looks like the.
I could get it. Adam.
Could you?
I could. Thank you.
So the animation, it looks great, but I did notice like one single frame in the trailer that looked CG, and it looked noticeably off. I'll show you guys after, but it's interesting anyway. So I just want to mention that. And the other trailer that we got was
I know Rory's personal favorite,
Titans. We got a trailer for the new Titans, which is a TV show, correct, Rory?
That is right. Yeah.
So the Titans is obviously a play off of the Teen Titans, which was a long-standing comic book series in DC. This had many iterations, but basically the premise of that comic is all of the DC like kind of younger heroes or sidekicks form their own team. So Robin and
is that what people were complaining about?
Red Arrow or Speedy or whatever you want to call it, Kid Flash, that sort of stuff. They all get together and they form their own team.
It's an animated series.
Kid Flash.
Yeah.
What are you, James Gunn?
That's pretty funny. The team has
seriously though, his career is over.
It was also a. There was also a very popular TV show back in kind of the early 2000s called Teen Titans that made the characters much more popular than a lot of popular interest in the show in Teen Titans stems from this cartoon because it was
there was a lot of that around that time. I think. Really.
Yeah,
I think that time period deserves a lot of credit for introducing people to superheroes.
Oh yeah. And so this TV show, is it set in the DC universe, DC Cinematic Universe?
No.
No. The DC Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
No TV show is set in the DC Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
I would assume it's set in the DC TV universe. The Arrowverse.
Okay.
But it might not be.
It's live action.
It is live action.
And I don't like it.
I don't. So, okay, first of all, no one likes that trailer. Let's be real.
You guys didn't like it when he says "fuck Batman" in the trailer?
But
you didn't like that?
I will say this. After Supergirl, I determined that I can't tell anymore. Because Supergirl was one of the worst trailers I've ever seen. And in my opinion, it's the strongest of the Arrowverse shows. So, I don't know. Like, this trailer was bad, though. And it won't... but... That shouldn't be the default, though, right? No. We shouldn't be like, the trailer was bad. Let's assume the show is going to be as good as Supergirl.
Yeah.
Because the trailer was bad.
But some of the stuff in the trailer I don't like. It's not just the trailer itself, but they've done a few things with the characters that I don't like. Robin, especially for Dick Grayson, because it is Dick Grayson, because the show, The Grayson's Flying Circus, seems extremely violent and angry for Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
He's never, ever been presented that way. He only really gets angry.
He becomes Red Hood, right?
No, that's Jason Todd. That's the second one. Now, if it was Jason Todd, I'd have no problem with that.
Jason Todd would fit actually quite well.
With what they're trying to do. And maybe they'll bring him as a villain, because Jason Todd would work really well as kind of like like a mirror to Dick Grayson.
What happens to Dick? He becomes Nightwing?
He becomes Nightwing.
Exactly
Jason Todd becomes Robin, and then everyone hates him because he was written terribly, and they kill him off.
Yeah.
I don't like what they did with Robin. I don't like Starfire's design. And it's not
Was Starfire in this?
Yes, she's the black woman, and it's not because in comics and in the
your life
in
is
the TV
too
show,
good if you're complaining about
the character is orange, and I don't have a problem with the fact of that the actress is black playing this.
That's what
Well,
I
we
thought
also don't
about
have any orange people.
No,
That's what I thought about the orange chick in Metal Gear
exist.
Solid 2. Apparently, she's black.
My issue with
Fortune
it is
is
that
not
the
orange.
rest of the costume does not look accurate
Fortune.
to Starfire. It's particularly
Absolutely
the
orange.
hair, the frizzy kind of hair, does not match the look of the character at all, and it's not a big deal, but it does change the perception of the character. There's a real, I forget her name, but there's a really good cosplayer, does a lot of superhero cosplays. She's black. She did a really good Starfire cosplay. She looks much better as Starfire than this actress does. So it's not the fact that she's black; it's the costume design and like the general look of the character. The other, so that's two of the characters. Another character is Dove, who's supposed to be the embodiment of peace. Beats the shit out of and kills people in this trailer, or at least like slices them apart and stuff, which is not mixing with. There's not that character at all, because Dove, whether it's I forget because there's been a couple of Doves, but she's supposed to be a very calm, gentle character, and it's her partner Hawk that's supposed to be the very strong, brooding, violent one. So they've completely fucked up her character. I thought Beast Boy and Raven looked okay.
Yeah, I agree. Well, they've changed the characters. We don't know if they fucked them up or just made significant modifications. Right? We don't know how that's going to play in the show.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, yes, but I would say mostly with just Dove and how she comes across in the show, I would say that they fundamentally did not get her character.
But we don't know yet, right?
We don't know, but just based on the trailer.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I agree. The trailer is not good and doesn't make me particularly hopeful for the show.
Yeah.
Well, if Titans isn't your thing, perhaps a new Batwoman show would be right up your alley.
Like Batwoman, not
Batwoman.
Let me read out this thing, what it's about.
Oh, cool.
Batwoman revolves around Kate Kane.
Yep.
Who, armed with a passion for social justice and a flair for speaking her mind, soars onto the streets of Gotham as Batwoman, an out lesbian and highly trained street fighter, primed to snuff out the failing city's criminal resurgence. But don't call her a hero yet. In a city desperate for a savior, Kate must overcome her own demons before embracing the call to be Gotham's symbol of hope.
See, that's actually fairly in keeping with...
That's quite on character. Yeah.
But that was a terribly written blurb.
That wasn't a great written blurb, yeah. But that is not... That isn't one of these characters that's been redone for, modern sensibilities. That's actually quite on point.
She's been a lesbian for most of her run. But I think, one of my favorite I like Batwoman. I like her character. One of my favorite parts about her character and the way that she's been written recently is she's not written as a lesbian. She's written as a as a person. 99% of lesbians, she's written like a normal person who happens to a regular girl who happens to like other girls, just as most people are. Mm-hmm. She doesn't, So I'm hoping that they approach her from that angle and don't make it a super.
They write a human instead of a checkbox.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping.
Me too. Who knows?
What are you in? I
don't think I like
Ruby, Aaron.
I don't think I like any DC show.
Kinda, I guess.
Maybe.
Have you seen any of them?
I think I've seen at least a few minutes of each one.
Oh, okay.
Why
are they stopping if not patient?
Well, man, it's frame rate.
The other people running around are...
Holy shit, her hair.
That's not hair.
Oh, it's him. His hair.
That's Fish.
What?
Like cupping balls or something. It's more backpack or whatever.
And that's not to say I think Marvel is the end-all be-all of superhero shows.
Right, yeah.
No, you could easily be fired over Twitter.
What else is there?
Hey!
Okay, I have a quick update.
Okay.
So, Titans, not in the Arrowverse. It also occurs to me, I believe the teen... There's a,
So is it just by itself? DC needs to get itself fucking under control.
Hold on, carry on with your thing, and I will.
Are you control shaming right now?
So what's next on the topic list?
Do you guys like a little known property known as Lord of the Rings?
I love Lord of the Rings.
I also
the movie
really
or the
like Lord
books
of
or
the
both? Yes, I like it. Although I think the movies are not stronger, but do a better representation of the story because they cut out a lot of the chaff that you don't need.
What do you mean? Tom Bombadil was amazing.
I mean, I'm not going to have another Tom Bombadil rant on this show, so let's move on.
Did you like the game Shadow of Mordor?
I did. That was one I played it a couple years after, but it was one of my. I thought it was a very good game, very good early showing for this generation of console.
Then you must have loved Shadow of War.
I didn't. I thought that the kind of free to play or fee to pay and pay to win
Did you play it?
That they put in. No, but I've seen enough coverage to kind of be like, I don't, and enough reviews said don't buy this because the fee to pay, pay to win kind of economy that they got going on in here ruins the game, and I'm like, you know what, I'm probably not gonna bother with this one.
Well, have I got news for you?
Speak.
All of the microtransactions have been removed from the game.
Oh, cool.
And apparently the game has been rebalanced to not be so grindy.
Now that they've made all the money off of their microtransactions, they're
I'm going to buy it now.
them all out.
I'm not going to buy a new copy. I'm going to buy a used
with
copy
the rest
from
of the
Games
gravy.
Exchange, a local game store, which if you're in the St. John's area, you should absolutely go check out. They have good games and selections and prices.
Yeah,
We're not sponsored by Games Exchange.
We are not. I'm just a fan. And I'm going to buy it used so that I don't have to pay Warner Brothers a single cent for this game.
Fair play.
You show that consumerism. Who's boss?
So yeah, I mean, I think it's clear why they're doing this. I don't think there's much
consumer
ambiguity.
shaming right now.
Right, like
they're trying to create some good press, I think, so they can do something shitty in the next couple of months. What's their next game coming out?
Warner Brothers?
Yeah.
Shadow of Shadows.
I don't know.
some
That's
Batman
definitely
thing.
what they're going to call it. Shadow of Shadows. Oh my god.
They're working on a Superman game.
Well, they're going
Oh,
to...
yeah.
I thought Rocksteady was doing that.
Yeah, under Warner Brothers.
Oh,
I think they're going to call it Bebop. I make that
Bebop
joke every
Man?
time.
So, quick update. So I was looking into the Titans thing.
Yep.
oh Jesus, Roy, with these updates.
The
Wax
so
or
yeah,
whatever.
not in the Arrowverse, but then I immediately realized why is because the Arrowverse already has some of those characters.
Oh.
Maybe they should have thought ahead.
Couldn't this take place before Arrow?
No.
Why can't they use the same actors and then it just be in the same thing?
Well, they're probably monopolized on because those actors cross over within the shows already. They got too busy a shooting schedule. They
Fucking Marvel figured it out.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about that shitty show that they did
But-
that got canceled with the giant dog?
Yeah, we don't talk about that one.
the Inhumans, yeah.
The
that-
Inhumans.
I mean, considering all the success that Marvel's had with both TV
In
and
10
movies,
years,
I
they're
think,
allowed one 6-episode flop.
Yeah.
Whatever that was. I still haven't seen it, so I have no idea.
So what? So it's not in the. So I guess it's
Jessica
just
Jones season
Is it
2
in the
wasn't good
Gotham
either.
universe?
I didn't like it.
I
no,
haven't seen
nothing's
it.
in the Gotham universe.
Oh. Not even
Gotham?
Gotham?
Doesn't have a universe. It's just Gotham.
Okay.
Right?
Like the idea if you go outside of Gotham City limits, there's a white void.
Gotham is pretty unrelated to like Batman in general. Actually,
Okay.
Like, Gotham's a crime show
Yeah.
that happens to take characters from Batman stories.
Okay. All right.
So that's the
Next
info on that.
topic.
Hey, has anybody seen the trailer for No Man's Sky Next?
I did.
Yes.
It looks all right. That's definitely not what we're gonna get in the game.
What are you talking about?
No Man's Sky Next. What do you think?
That
of it?
was the game, though. I don't know.
No
what
Man's
do you
Sky. I
mean,
will
Adam?
say about this about No Man's Sky. They've changed a lot since release.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was making a joke in that they made a lot of promises about
That they
the
did not
game was
keep.
gonna.
Yeah,
And so I'm
100%.
Second, oh, okay.
Similar
there
to
were,
another game we'll talk about a little later.
There were some people that were talking about Next being a different game, but it's not. It's just a free update.
Yeah, no, it's just the
Yeah.
next version of the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the multiplayer. Like, it's kind of got a pseudo multiplayer in it now.
Who are you gonna play with?
Probably Dave.
Oh.
And a few other
If I
people
had
on
No
Twitch.
Man's Sky, I would be looking forward to it, but I don't have No Man's Sky,
Yeah.
and I won't get it for this.
No.
I enjoy parts of the game. It's frustrating because so much of it is RNG. Like, you can't... I don't mind RNG, but when everything is RNG, you can't make progress. Like,
Ah, so
Yeah.
you do mind RNG.
I mind it when it literally removes progression. Like,
But
in a
that's
game,
what RNG is.
No, I don't mind RNG where it's like you can get this thing, but you need to gather these resources. Like, okay, I can get this thing if I do this. But in No Man's Sky, it's like you want to upgrade a ship, you just got to keep looking for one that you want. You can't just go like, oh, I want to buy this specific ship with this specific loadout. You can't do that.
But
Every ship is RNG. All the stats are RNG.
That's a really good point, actually. And that I remember there was a video on game design that talked about like how in stealth games it's very important that the AI don't do random things, because the challenge and reward of stealth games is that you figure out how the AI moves, so you can then make progress, and the reward is in solving the problem.
Yeah, and that's the same thing. Is it's like I want to feel like I'm becoming like an entrepreneur in space, but when every single situation I need to make a decision as a coin flip, it's like I could go backwards at some point, and it's just it doesn't feel like it's not satisfying.
Whereas no, that does make perfect sense.
If there was a ship and it's like you can buy this ship, you can unlock it with all these resources, like cool, I have a goal to work towards now. But when I just go blindly gather resources to buy a ship that I may spend 10 hours looking for one, it's like that's dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
And everything is like that, like the planets that spawn, the resources that are there, all the trading data. Like if you want to do trade runs between systems, all the resources that spawn in one and another are completely different. Like there's no persistent economy in the game. So trading one to the other doesn't change the prices of things. One may not even want resources from another system. And because the map is so frustrating to use, it's like the trading is non-existent in this game. Basically, you just have to gather resources until you can afford a bigger ship, and that's all a coin toss, so it's kind of dumb.
Well, that sounds terrible, actually.
Yeah, so that's why I'm looking forward to the multiplayer to maybe hide a lot of the RNG through just screwing around with your buddies.
Well, Aaron, way to talk a lot. Hey, Aaron, can you tell us a little bit about Tomb Raider and Ready Player One? You recently saw them.
Yeah. I remember Rory recently mentioning that he saw the movie and liked it. Tomb Raider, specifically?
No.
Your ass heat is making my legs sweat.
So I said it wasn't terrible.
Oh.
It was a lot like National Treasure, let's say.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a great movie, but like in comparison to some of the other video game movies that have been made, it was alright. It was It
would have been okay had they not remade the story of the first game, the 2013 game.
That's a good point. Actually, it probably would have been better if we didn't have that to compare it to.
Because they retold it and got rid of basically everything that made it interesting.
It got rid of some of the coolest stuff, I think. Yeah, for sure.
So, I don't know. It's kind of difficult to get into without spoiling elements of it.
Play the game instead.
See,
I think,
just play the game.
Yeah.
It really, like the first...
Way ahead of you.
The first hour and a half of the movie is maybe the first 20 minutes of the game. And then the rest of it is just made up nonsense that completely dispels the mystery and supernatural elements of Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Is it not supernatural anymore?
No.
Well, I mean, yeah, and that's sort of the... It seems like it will be supernatural. And then at
the end, they're like, no. But, they just ruined so many characters. Like, Matthias, who's on the island in the game because he literally can't leave. The Sun Queen is preventing him from leaving. In the show, he's just some guy who's on the island who can leave whenever he wants, but doesn't for some reason because, it's like I can't leave. It's like, well, there's a helicopter going to and from the island all the time, so why don't you just fucking leave?
Didn't they explain in the movie that the company who has him there won't let him leave?
Yeah, but I feel like if you're there for 7 years and throughout the movie he explains multiple times that he doesn't believe in any of the shit that's going on there, so he's the complete inverse of Matthias in the game.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, it's not as good a character.
He doesn't. He is just like, why wouldn't he's willy-nilly shooting people left and right? I feel like he would just eventually try and escape on the helicopter.
Right, I see what you're saying.
Like why? It's just dumb. I don't know. And every single decision that Lara makes throughout the movie is not one of her own accord. It's because someone either backs her into a corner or she's doing something out of like love, because the whole movie is her chasing her father, which doesn't appear at all in the first game.
One of the things I got from the trailer was like her dead dad is like directly telling her what to do.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like
her dad is Lara in the movie. He's the one that goes off and does all the exploring that you don't see, and then she goes after him.
Like the story in the game is Lara following her dad's work, but she's doing it not because her dad's told her to do it. It's because
she's trying to find him.
Well, not really that. She's just trying to
in the game. Okay.
In the game, yeah. Oh, is her dad not dead in the movie?
No. Spoilers.
Won't be watching that.
Yeah, that really don't. It's dumb.
I can't wait till they make the Batman movie where Bruce Wayne's parents aren't dead. They're just there.
Yeah.
He still becomes Batman for some reason.
In the game, it's like it's not even related.
Yeah,
Like,
you're right.
Lara goes to university, and the guy who's looking after her, Roth, ends up getting a contract to go to Yamatai, and that's why she goes. It's like not related to her dad at all, which is so stupid in the game or in the movie.
So the Sun Queen isn't in this at all.
She is, but she's just some girl who's sick. So I don't mind spoiling it because it's a terrible movie.
It's as far as movies like that go. It's about as good as its peers, in my opinion.
But they could have just made the game again, like instead of the beginning of the movie being Lara being a piece of shit, not doing anything, rejecting her inheritance and all that stuff because I don't know, didn't like her mother or some nonsense. She could have just gone to university and met Sam. That could have been the beginning of the movie, and then you still could have done the Roth thing and go to the island. It could have been exactly the same as the game.
Yeah, part of what makes Lara an interesting character is that she's adventurous. She's the one initiating these things.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
what makes her an interesting character.
Well, that's why the arc of the first game was so interesting because she was not like that at all in the beginning of the first game.
Yeah, she's just some kid.
Like
she's
a
kid, but
she wanted to look after to look for her father. But you got the sense she's way over my head, and I'm just basically scraping by here. And then at the end of the game, when she fights the final boss and goes through that whole sequence, you get the sense no, she's doing this because not only to get off the island, but because she wants to now.
Yeah. She's not looking for her dad in the first game.
Well, whatever. I can't remember. It's been a while since I played it.
She's not looking for anything. I think she's just doing it for the adventure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's tagging along because of her friends as well.
Yeah. I think the guy that she goes with, that I can't remember his name, he's the guy who hosts a show or something, and she watches the show.
Yeah.
And so she's asked to escort Roth, and that's why she goes.
Yeah, she's asked to come because, she's like top of her class or whatever.
Yeah.
You also watched Ready Player One.
Did?
What did you think of that?
That was better. That was better than I thought it was going to be. They did change a lot of stuff in the book, but I think parts of it were better.
I keep forgetting that you read or listened to it.
I listened to part of it with Will Wheaton, and I didn't know Will at the time, so I just kind of found his voice kind of annoying. So then I read the rest of it.
Has that changed now that you know Will Wheaton?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of tabletop since then. And
I would probably find it more annoying now.
No, I'd probably, if I were to go back and listen to it, I wouldn't mind Will reading it now. I just didn't... The way he read it was kind of weird, especially not knowing him. But after watching a lot of tabletop and Geek and Sundry stuff now, it's like, okay, that's
because he's technically in the book.
He is in the book, yeah.
It
feels a bit masturbatory, to be honest, when he's reading that part.
Yeah, anyway.
So I think, if I remember, because, you don't have to say anything if you think it'll spoil or anything, but, obviously the Iron Giant plays a pretty big role in the movie because he was featured heavily in the trailers.
Damn it.
What other major franchise? Because I've heard that there was a lot of Microsoft stuff. So there was a lot of Spartans and stuff running around.
Yeah, that was maybe one of my complaints with it. I guess it's good that they updated a lot of the stuff because it is supposed to take place in the future. It's a little weird that it's modern stuff now. There's also a mention to Twitch in the movie. I think it's more to counter the fact that Artemis was a blogger, which is no one's blogging in 2045. But
is there less of an 80s tone?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more modern. That's maybe it in aesthetic, it feels like the movie was shot in the 80s, the way that the camera movement works and the bloom on everything. It definitely looks very 80s.
What's the soundtrack like?
It's pretty good. There's some notable tracks. A lot of it's just kind of just scored synth stuff.
I know.
Is the Rush part in the movie? Did they change that?
I can't remember.
He has War Games scene.
Yeah, what did they use for War Games? I don't think they used War Games. They used The Shining, I think. Didn't they?
The Shining was in it as well, yeah. I don't remember the book 1-to-1. I just know,
He has to... there's a world that's based on a Rush song in the book. And one of the clues is
the final keys. Yeah. You have to perfectly play a Rush song. I forget which one it is.
Final keys.
I think it's just based on the lyrics.
Oh, is it?
I think the The finding
Yeah,
the
I
key is
couldn't
based on the
remember that.
lyrics.
No, but he has
You have to
something with the
perfectly
guitar.
play the part in.
No, but there's something to do with the guitar. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't it.
Which
If
really
you're like
Rush-
a massive fan of the book, you'll probably find the movie
Rush is
disappointing.
amazing. Adam.
I thought the book
You
was
don't like
okay.
Rush?
all right.
It's alright.
I liked my favorite parts of the movie. I think is that they let other characters do stuff. Like I think in the book, Parzival does basically everything.
Yeah.
So like they kind of share the load around a little bit, and that's to make the other characters not feel so useless, which was nice.
Is H still in this movie as well?
Yeah.
What about I forget the two brothers, the Japanese characters?
Yeah, they're both in it.
Okay.
Although different stuff happens with them than the book.
Who plays the dude? I forget what his name is. The
evil guy?
no, not the, well. I know the evil guy is Krennic, but the
Mendelsohn.
the kind of the guy who co-founded the Oasis and then like kind of leads it. And, is he in the movie at all?
I think that's Simon Pegg.
Oh, is it?
He's Og. Simon Pegg's Og.
Yeah. So yeah.
Who co-founded it? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not in it nearly as much as he is in the book.
Is do they end up having the D&D section in the beginning where they go through Tomb of Horrors and they have to fight? They have to play. Oh my God! The lich.
Joust.
Well, it's Joust, but I forget the lich's name.
Oh.
Atrix? No, not Atrix.
I think there was a Tomb of Horrors bit in
Arcerex.
it, but I don't think it's not as prominent.
Arcerex, I believe, is his name.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it.
It's not bad. It's to get back to what my complaint was is I fell out of the game.
Is it Spielbergian?
Do you mean is it too long and needs an editor?
I want to. I was making a joke because it's directed by Steven Spielberg.
I think
Yeah.
parts of it are definitely rushed. I didn't like that the references it had were like there was a lot of Overwatch references and a lot of Halo references and not much of other things.
Oh.
Like the Serenity was in it, which was cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And they kept a few other things, which was
Any Star Wars or
Nice.
Marvel stuff?
there was a few of both. The only real Star Wars reference, there's two Star Wars references. Ben Mendelsohn mentions the Millennium Falcon, and there's some space scene in it where you hear TIE Fighter, but I couldn't for the life of me see it, so I don't know if there was one there or not.
Oh.
But there might have been other stuff. You'd really have to dig through it. There's a lot of like CG porn in there where you can. It's just like so much crap on the screen that you can dig through it. And
I
find
legit
other
thought
stuff.
you meant actual CG porn for a second, and I was
No.
confused.
Does the Iron
Goes hand in
Giant
hand with all
die?
that Overwatch stuff.
Does he
It
die?
really does, though.
That's kind of spoilery in it now.
Listen, I had to suffer through the Iron Giant dying in the first movie. And that like traumatized me as a kid.
Yes, he dies.
Yes.
No! Why would you kill the Iron Giant off twice, you fucks?
It's just a robot that you can pilot.
No! What? He doesn't even have a He's not like the Iron Giant,
No,
Superman.
he's piloted. In the movie, he's piloted. It's to replace something that was in the book that nobody would have understood. Right?
Adam, for a guy who really didn't like Batman vs Superman, I'm surprised you think Superman is a personality.
He had a personality in that movie. He was created as a weapon, but ultimately found his personality. It was not, it's not. We're not talking like groundbreaking storytelling here, but it was a nice personality.
Who was it in the book?
Larpedon.
It was Vin Diesel.
Larpedon? Is that how you say that?
I think that's how it's pronounced.
That was like
it's the
Leopardy or
Spider.
something.
It's the Japanese Spider-Man robot because apparently
Yeah.
the Japanese took Spider-Man.
I thought it
and
was
made into a
Ultraman.
Super mecha. No, Ultraman was alternate.
Leopardy.
Oh.
I was like, who's the hell is that? It didn't make any
Arpedon?
sense. It made a lot more sense to have Iron Giant.
He
Like, that's a bit
actually
more
that
relatable.
robot actually shows up in the 2015 Marvel crossover event Spider-Verse, where all the different Spider-Men end up teaming up together in order to fight some big evil bad guy. And there's a really really funny moment in this in the comic where you see two Spider-Men are kind of like taking a breath from the battle, and he's like, "Man, it's crazy we have all these Spider-Man with us." Like, yeah, I saw one Spider-Man that looked like the dude from Seabiscuit. He's like, "Oh yeah, I thought there was a Spider-Man who looked like the guy who's dating Emma Stone." Or I forget what, whatever. I
Yeah.
thought that was funny.
Yeah. Anyway, it was okay. It was. Don't go into it with any expectations. Forget the book. It's not bad.
So, Andrew, I know you probably want to read the quote, but I really want to read the quote. Because
You
there's something-
can read
There's
out
something
the
in here. So Todd Howard said something very...
You can read it on
By the
this.
way,
if that's
we're
easier.
ending very soon.
about
Yeah,
Fallout
it's very warm in
76.
this room.
We avoid the word survival because people's minds immediately go to DayZ and Rust and certain other games. And these comparisons are not really accurate for what we're doing, Howard tells The Guardian. If you think about the survival modes we've made in Fallout 4, it has that vibe. Fallout 76, although it's an online game, when I play it, I mostly still play it solo. We like those experiences as much as our fans do. Todd, you're the only one who has it. Of course you play it solo. What the fuck else? You and Pete. They're the only people fucking... I was like, who else are you
Todd
to play
walking
with?
down the hall of the brisk space, banging open the door to Pete's office, snatching Charles. Like, stop ruining my game. You keep nuking it.
Stop killing me.
So, yeah. So they... and a griefing, he says, no, that's not fun, says Todd. Well, it's fun for whoever killed you, but not for you. Death is already bad enough in a game because you're losing time, that we didn't feel we needed to add any further penalty. Penalty for...
I would love to see that back and
I don't
forth.
understand that we wanted to make sure you don't lose your progression. So what further penalty is he talking about? There is no penalty on the person
But you don't
who killed
drop your
you.
stuff.
No, he means on dying.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like if you build a house, you don't lose your house, and when you die, you don't drop your stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's still annoying.
So
You
the
get
solution
shot.
to griefing
Yes.
is we don't make you lose all your shit.
Yeah, but if you have
10 out of 10
if you have a base in the southwest corner of the map, and you're up in the northeast corner of the map doing something, and some asshole 12-year-old from, I don't know, wherever,
You
Russia
can
probably,
pack it
threw
into
there,
a box and bring it with you.
get shot, shoots you in the head,
Yep.
but then you despawn, don't you? You would go back to your spawn
No,
point?
you spawn nearby.
Oh, well, it's still annoying.
And then you go and back to your stuff, and then he snipes you again.
So it's basically like GTA, and it's still annoying when it happens in GTA.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'll wait to see how it works in that. But I would
I
love to
hope
see
you like
that back and
GTA
forth.
Online, how that plays.
I do.
You can't play it on a private server, though. So, I hope you like the way GTA plays in a public server. Because that's the only option here.
Well, I
But
have
it's
a way of
different, though.
finagling it, so
It's
I can get my
different.
own
Like
private
GTA,
server.
GTA in a way promotes and encourages griefing in PvP. So I don't think that's a fair comparison.
Well, Bethesda's
Yeah,
not
we'll
doing...
say that when you're getting blown up by Pete Hines because he played it all the time and he's a much higher
Great,
level.
I grief all the time.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I don't know.
Bethesda's not
I think it's different.
doing anything to disincentivize griefing.
They kind of are though,
How?
because there's no real player incentive apart from being a dick to
You
to
get
do it.
caps.
Also, being a dick
I don't know.
is
We'll see.
the... I don't
In fact,
care.
they're actively rewarding you for killing other
If
other players.
They could reward you in GTA for killing other players by giving you $1 million in-game every time you kill another player character, and people would still do it for the most part because it's funny. So, fuck you. People, even if there's no like real
the last
reason to do
5
it.
years has been about releasing different kinds of weapons and vehicles to make killing other players fun.
No,
Whereas
but
this,
what-
it's like build a house and run around and stuff.
And people
And
will
nuke
still
players.
But it's
fucking
not-
kill you because that's the nature of
the
humanity.
nukes aren't about griefing. The nukes are about getting high level gear.
Doesn't matter.
That's
people-
what Bethesda says. When
Yeah,
we
but I
play
mean, they
it,
can always-
they'll be about griefing.
That might be an issue at launch, but I feel like if their intent is to not have it be griefy, then they can rebalance it later. If
And
that
they probably
becomes
will
an issue.
rebalance it, but
They'll have to take them out to make them not griefy. Or
I
they'll have to
don't
make
think
it
so.
so that if you launch a nuke, you get put into another server. Like, you can opt into the nuke. Or
I know. They said there was going to be a warning when a nuke is launched, and it'll give you time to pick up your shit and move away. So
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun.
I don't know if somebody is going to go through all the trouble to find the keys to get a nuke and nuke you personally, and then you just see the guy get up and walk away. It's going to be a waste of time.
also, this isn't really anything against the game, but I find it funny that, like, like Russia comes over and is like, to like Washington, it's like, you're about to get nuked. You have 3 hours to pack your stuff up and get, and then we're gonna bomb this empty city, and then everyone's like, okay, and then everyone gets in their truck and drives off.
Yes, I don't know. I'll wait and see until it comes out. Because, I mean, there's a lot of games that have PvP elements that aren't griefy like
Also,
that.
I feel like it's just based on what the nature of Fallout is and what happened to the world, I feel like using nukes in that kind of a game, kind of insensitive. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I wouldn't say insensitive, but it does
It
go
is-
against a lot of the...
It is, though. Sorry. Anyway, move on.
I don't know.
It's
Other
insensitive.
Fallout
Just move on.
games had nukes in them.
You're wrong. It's insensitive.
Yeah,
Move on.
yes.
I'm
they
sucking
do.
my teeth, guys. It means I win.
I don't know what you're arguing.
I don't know either.
I think he's
Move on.
making a joke about people who find things insensitive.
Oh.
Am I? I don't know.
You're fired.
I don't know where. Oh man. Now I'm gonna make even more money from having free time on Fridays.
You're fired for having an opinion.
Oh.
A lot of the
You wrote this. I'm reading off the script that you gave me.
Stick to the script.
I am.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Fallout games typically do have an anti-nuclear message, and I think having nuclear weapons directly a positive thing for players might be going against it a little bit. I don't personally care about it.
You do have access to the pocket nukes, whatever the fuck they're called.
The Fat Man.
The Fat Man.
Yes. Also, there's a nuke in Megaton that you can blow up whenever you want.
Yeah. See, I didn't do that because I thought that was too mean, so I just shot the sheriff and stole his hat.
Yeah, exactly. It's not...
Well, it's not advisable to do that because you fuck up a lot of quests.
And also, the game is mostly green. That's nothing.
I'm fine with it being a possibility. I know, like, once you make something a possibility in a multiplayer game, you're going to see nothing but that thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're an hour into this podcast. We have a lot to get through, and it's currently 34 fucking degrees in this room. Can we move on?
Probably pretty hot.
Andrew, tell us about Aliens.
Hey, do you guys like the Alien franchise?
Yeah, it's alright.
Depends on what you're talking
It's
about
all
and how
right.
you're talking about it.
It's got
Are you talking about movies? Are you talking about games?
Movies. Do you like the franchise?
It has some gems in it, and it has some misses also.
Some stinkers?
Yeah. I like...
Her name is Ellen Ripley.
I think I like more than half of the movies.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
I don't know if you got that, Adam.
I did. Well, I didn't really hear it.
Well, the important thing, Andrew, is
and it's got
do
some
you
misses.
like them, and what do you have to say about them?
I like them a lot. Not all of them, but most of them.
Why is this on the topic list? Are we just talking about how you like the Alien movies?
Get to the Colonial Marines.
Do you like Aliens Colonial Marines? Was that your favorite game of 2006? That wasn't even out in 2006.
No, it was no one's favorite game.
I think it came out the same year as Alien Isolation.
No, that's not true. What's his name? Randy Pitchford.
It was Randy Pitchford's favorite game that year.
Based on the sales, it was good.
Actually, probably wasn't his favorite game.
No, but it was based on the sales, though. It was a good game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, that's why, I mean, it wouldn't be a good game if people didn't buy it.
No, I mean, directly lying to your customer base is a great way to sell your product.
10 out of 10.
Anyway,
I like playing the Siren or the Necromancer in that game. Oh, no, wait, that's Borderlands.
You know, that wouldn't even exist without all the financing they got to make Alien Colonial Marines.
Well, there's a silver lining, I suppose.
Anyway,
modders.
Let me. The thing about this game is it was so fundamentally broken that Gearbox has refused to fix it even after all this time. So I don't even know why we're talking about it. It's not like somebody could magically change one thing in the code and fix this game.
You spit all over your shirt. Yeah.
It's not all over. That's mostly just the design of the shirt.
Well, I saw a lot of spittle.
It was part of the character I was doing.
You have video assisted replay like in football. Do
you know how hot your fucking thigh is right now?
Man, I can't help it if I'm steamy.
Anyways,
what is this fucking lump in your pocket?
That's my
tell us about this goddamn game.
Modders found a typo in one of the INI files for the game, and by
Just Durante again.
There was a misspelled word. And by correcting the misspelling, a lot of the AI in the game was fixed.
That's hilarious because I actually just found a misspelled word in a open source code base the other day that totally was fucking me up for like 3 days. I couldn't figure out what was going wrong. So I sympathize with that.
So, Yeah, you sympathize that somebody made it. I don't sympathize with the fact that it was released with this bug and never
I didn't
fixed.
make the typo. I'm saying I sympathize with being a coder who deals with other people making typos.
I see.
I think the fact that it was never fixed by Gearbox is the bigger thing.
Yeah.
The fact that it was released like in that state, yes, that's bad. But the fact that it was found and fixed by a customer years later, that's the bigger issue. But I will say this seems like an honest mistake from a relatively dishonest company.
It's an honest mistake that was never fixed.
No, you're right. It wasn't.
Randy Pitchford is still a fuck.
Yes, you're right.
Okay.
Gearbox is kind of shit.
Make another Brothers in Arms game, for fuck's sake.
I want another Borderlands, except not really because they're going to ruin it.
Yeah, I'm right with Adam. And of course, they're going to make that Borderlands.
Oh, yeah, Borderlands. And all of the loot in the game that makes it real, that makes our game so memorable, aside from the writing, is going to be in loot boxes only that you have to spend premium currency on. You know the Ridian, that currency that was used to upgrade your character with like backpack space.
Yeah.
That's going to be the new freemium currency in that game.
I don't think we'll see loot boxes.
Yeah,
not anymore.
I mean, there were loot boxes in the game already. Though.
I know, but I don't think they'll be premium loot boxes. I think because of all the backlash, I don't think we'll see them. We will see premium currency though.
This is Randy Pitchford we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think I've got issues with this. My own personal issues.
I got them too.
One might be angry at the fact that Sega canceled the Obsidian RPG about aliens to pump money into Aliens Colonial Marines, and then Gearbox took that money and financed Borderlands, and then just outsourced Alien Colonial Marines to a bunch of unknown companies, and that's why it's shit. And that's why Obsidian's Alien RPG, which would have been awesome, will never exist. One might get angry at that fact, but...
Not you.
Not me.
Just
well, I mean, I've got, you know... Anyway. Fuck you.
So, there was an Uncharted fan film that came out this week.
Yeah,
Speaking of Tomb Raider.
Have we all seen it?
No? How long is it?
It's about 12 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's a short film.
Yes, yeah. It's definitely worth watching. It's surprisingly good.
Did you say Nathan Fillion's in it?
Yes, Nathan Fillion is starring as Nathan Drake.
Which is a good choice, honestly.
Well, it's who Nathan Drake is pretty much based off.
I remember when the first game was coming out, the Naughty Dog had a picture of the character and Nathan Fillion on their computer screen.
I think through the 5 games or 6 games that there have been in the franchise, I think Drake has sort of evolved into his own character.
Yeah,
but initially he was very much based off of Nathan Fillion.
He's a Nolan North Nathan.
Yeah,
Nathan Fillion
it's really a testament to just how good Nolan North is.
There's a big white thing coming at you.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was surprisingly well written. It got the tone real good. Nathan Fillion's a bit older, so it's like when he starts running, it's like, don't. Yeah, take it easy there, man.
Who played Sully? Because he did a good job as well.
The guy who was in Avatar, I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
the
villain
with the big
Avatar.
buck knife at the end.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah, I thought he did good. Some of the shots in this were real good. Yeah.
The audio, like the Jeep, was total bullshit though. That was the one weak point.
I mean, they have a limited budget.
Because like he dives out a window and goes to a Jeep, and there's like, you see the Jeep coming in, and it's like, but the car is actually going like 2 miles an hour.
I think they took most of the audio from the games.
Oh, maybe.
When he takes his pistol out of the holster, it's the same sound effect as in the games.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Those games are cool.
Yeah, but I think it's...
I quite enjoyed it.
I think it's funny when you look at this in contrast to Tomb Raider, which we spoke about earlier, which is kind of like...
Yeah, they managed to nail...
Blasphemous.
I mean, I'm with you, but also... I think it's worth noting what we talked about with Neil Blomkamp, which is short film is a very different kind of...
Yeah, but this is
kind
like...
of tack.
This is clearly... Like, this isn't Neil Blomkamp level of production, I don't think. This is just like somebody who really liked Uncharted.
Yeah, some people that could...
Yeah.
I guess they knew Nathan Fillion, or they pulled a lot of money together to get Nathan Fillion.
He's done fan projects in the past, though. Like, he's usually pretty receptive for it. He did...
he's that kind of guy.
He famously
he
did...
loves doing stuff that gets canceled.
He did a cool short film with... Brian and Nick. What was the name of that channel?
Briannic, I think? I don't remember.
Whatever
that channel is called.
They used to make good content and then they stopped. Nobody knows why. I think they had a falling out.
Well, I think that's all the old good YouTube channels, I think, mostly.
But speaking of Nathan Fillion, he apparently is not going to be playing Cade 6. Sorry,
Six.
I can't.
The best character in Destiny.
I can't honestly remember the name of any of the characters in Destiny.
Yeah.
'Cause they make very little impact. He's by far one of the better ones, just because he's Nathan Fillion and he kind of brings his natural charm and swarm and charisma to it. And the fact he's not voicing this character where he's voiced in every other thing in the expansion that's about this fucking character is kind of fucking worrying.
The expansion that if you have the season pass for the expansions, you don't get.
No.
You have to get it
Should have been
separately.
called Forgotten.
This
was due to a scheduling conflict with Nathan Fillion. I guess
going to be the new voice.
Then
Nolan
fucking wait.
North, surprisingly.
Oh,
That's
the most predictable thing I've ever heard.
That's what we in the business call ironic.
They fucking pulled a Dinkleweed on him.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
For every voice that Nolan North wasn't originally, he ends up becoming that voice through sheer force of will.
Nathan Fillion did give his blessing, though. I think they know each other. I think they're at least
Colleagues.
they're colleagues, if not
Hell
pals.
yeah.
So at least it's not fucking Tom Kane.
Anyway,
So yeah, that
I'm Kane
Destiny
6.
thing is going to be trash, and no one's going to buy it.
Let's play Warframe. It's a better Destiny.
There's-
South Park.
so South Park Fractured Butthole getting DLC. Apparently, it's about Mintberry Crunch.
Oh, sweet. Noticeably absent from that game.
Yeah, so he's in this. That's all I know about it.
I don't know what that is.
This one is kind of a non-news story at this point, but I did want to... No!
Oh, say it.
So, you guys might be aware of a big mod coming to Fallout New Vegas called Fallout New California.
Yep.
Woo!
It's somewhat of a prequel to New Vegas.
Where does that take place?
In California.
Oh.
I thought it was some sort of callback thing.
Oh. Nope. Anyway, there's a new expansion set coming to the Fallout board game, which is also called New California. And there was a lot of concern from the mod author that if they didn't get the mod out ahead of this expansion set,
Yeah.
ZeniMax would sue, or they would
Right,
they would put out a cease and desist, like they've done with the Fallout 3 remake.
What are you talking about? Todd said he loves modders.
Yeah.
You telling me that wasn't true?
So, as of right now, Pete Hines has come out and said that the New California mod is safe.
Mm.
He said that
a
you
good
can
thing-
make a mod about anything,
It's a good thing people don't
except
lie.
Fallout 3. So, although I should say the problem with the Fallout 3 expansion was the voice acting.
Yes, that's correct.
Like
yeah.
all voice acting is licensed to that game, so it cannot be used outside of the game
Yeah.
legally.
They,
So
just
they-
get Nolan North to do it.
They totally. Yeah, he's not doing much anymore.
Nathan Fillion can do the mocap.
They
No.
could have totally kept making the Fallout 3 remake mod, just without the voice acting, which is what the Fallout New Vegas remake mod is currently doing.
Yes.
But I guess I don't know the story behind it, but they're not doing it anymore. But yeah, it's good to know that this is safe. There was a lot of movement by the mod creator to get this out as soon as possible to try to get it out ahead of the expansion set. Because if they did that, then it would be out in the public, and no matter what ZeniMax did with the cease and desist, the mod would be out there anyway. But I think we're good for now, so
Yeah.
everyone's happy.
Moving on.
Although Pete Hines did say it was much ado about nothing, because everyone was concerned.
Oh,
And I would say,
I think Shakespeare,
based on your
Shakespeare
past-
sued him.
based on literally everything we know about your company, I think this was. I
He
think
sues
all
modders all the time. It's great.
all the concerns were well founded.
Yeah. I agree.
Moving on, because it's hot and I want to end.
Yes, okay, let's wrap up.
Who's watched Warcraft?
Me and you
I
and
did.
Adam.
It was
What?
good.
You liked it?
Yeah, it was good.
I like Duncan
Jumping in the
Jones.
water.
Yeah, me too. Although I haven't seen Mute.
He had a really good interview where the guy interviewing him tried to stipulate, I guess, that a Warcraft movie was less legitimate than a movie made from other source material compared to Lord of the Rings. He was like, this isn't a classic like Lord of the Rings, and Duncan Jones held his ground, and I like that he held his ground.
I probably would have just left the interview.
Yeah, but he sort of went to bat. He was patient and he sort of went to bat for the gamers, and I like that. So tell me about what Duncan Jones is doing now.
He's gonna make a Rogue Trooper film.
A what?
You don't know what Rogue Trooper is?
Nope.
Was that Bethesda game?
I don't think so.
Oh.
No, you're thinking of Rogue Warrior.
Is that
my mistake.
Is that the wing of T-47 speeders that fought against the Blizzard's
No, that's
squadron?
Rogue Trooper.
No, it's not.
Okay. Was it the group of
Rogue Trooper is a third-person shooter. Came out on whatever generation the Xbox and PS2 were.
Anyone play it?
that would be the
Nope.
Duncan Jones did, I think.
Oh, cool.
6th generation, I believe.
Run on, Duncan.
It's the best way to make video game movies, whatever, is to make movies about games no one's heard of or played in the last 20 years.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah, I love it.
There is a Redux version out
Sweet.
on current gen, I believe. So you can play it if you want to.
Was that the game where a small ensemble cast of criminals and kind of opposing personalities come together to steal the plans for a super weapon?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a Rogue One joke.
That was Rogue Hooper.
Thank you, Roy.
No problem. So, I mean, I'll watch it because it's Duncan Jones. I won't watch it because it's Rogue Trooper, because I didn't know what the fuck it was.
Did you watch Mute?
Did I? Oh, the other one? No, I didn't watch that.
His latest film.
No, I didn't watch that, no.
I
haven't seen it.
He likes making movies that begin with M and are
Apparently
4
it's
letters.
not good.
Oh, I believe that. The, Battlefield 5 open beta that no one here is going to play is going to be out in September.
I might try it out if I'm in the mood.
Aaron might try it out.
I'm probably going to try it out as well.
If I'm in the
Jesus.
mood.
You guys are total SJWs.
Oh, I know. Social Gate or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah.
One more
love
report on that
lesbians.
when we play it. Obviously, I'll be interested to see what happens and what they do with it. And what I think they're going to be showing off I would imagine they're going to be showing off the Norway levels.
As long as I can get my little anal tail into loot box, then I'm all right.
They call it Tanel.
The Calling 2
Tots.
is being closed, but the original will be rebooted.
Just
in
out of
free-to-play.
curiosity, Roy, when did the Calling 2 come out?
Last week.
Yeah, quite recently. It didn't have the longest lifetime.
Rory, I got to be honest with you. So if we're talking about a game that was that short, it must have been so good that humanity was not ready for it.
It was
Is
too
this-
good. Yeah.
Is this a record for
Yes.
shortest life of a game?
It
Probably.
might be.
Because
It might
there's
be.
been Flash games that were played longer than this.
2 days after its launch, it was down to 1 player.
And think of the fact that people are still playing
People
Mabinogi
playing
to this
like
day.
the Hobo Fight
And
Club.
they can't. Mabinogi's been going since 2003 or something.
Oh man, people are all
Warcraft has
over
been
that.
going since 2004.
Well, yeah, but I'm not as good as Mabinogi, which has been going longer.
Yeah, World of Warcraft ripped off Mobingi.
Is that the one with the white power?
yeah, that's right.
That's why.
He's the most famous player character.
I
in
watched
the game.
somebody try to play it on Twitch, and it took her 20 minutes to get into a game. Because it does the same thing if you're familiar with like PUBG or whatever. Like it puts you in a lobby and waits for the players to go up, and then when there's enough, it starts the game. She was in a room with like nobody for 20 minutes.
Of the Calling 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it finally started the game, and there were like 4 people.
That's
Like,
consistent across the board, I believe, for most people's
Yeah, it's
experiences
like,
with
oh
it.
my God.
I think the only people who play it are the people who bought the game to see what kind of a colossal train wreck it is,
Yeah.
and they immediately returned it.
Yeah, I'd say it was
And Pete
mostly.
Hines.
It seemed like it was mostly Twitch streamers
plays
who
a
I
lot.
guess had the game purchased for them or were given a
He's
key.
still
Yeah.
it's Todd Howard playing it solo.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
I asked
They love
these
playing it
guys to
solo,
make
but
a
there's
game.
no actual solo mode in the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's how Todd Howard plays his solo
Yeah.
games.
Anyway, they're
yeah, that's hilarious,
they're recalling it. I guess they're closing it down.
Are they refunding everybody?
I don't know that. I would assume. If not, that's dog shit. But, I mean, it's kind of also your fault for buying the color.
Yeah, I kind of hope they don't refund people, to be honest.
Last topic. Come on now, it's finished. I'm dying.
Anyway, they're relaunching the first game in day one. They're calling it the Culling Day One, I think. And it's going to be free to play, and I would assume it's going to have super microtransactions. Speaking of microtransactions, are you guys fans of Fortnite?
No.
No.
Why not?
Andrew, it's too fucking hot for these intros. Just get the bit of news over.
I can't play competitive team-based games. I can't have other people.
I couldn't be fucking bothered.
I can't deal with other people when I'm trying to win things.
Okay. Well,
I don't need games with spicy memes in every corner.
I can't deal with Rory because he slows me down. He's over there being like, I don't know the frames, and I'm shooting noobs or eating Tide Pods, whatever the kids call it these days.
Well, Aaron, people have spent over $1 billion on those spicy memes.
They're pronounced maymays.
Oh, but there's a silver lining to that, right? Because are you aware about the new?
Is it more Fortnite?
The new profit split on the Unreal Asset Store. Like, so if you make an asset for the Unreal Engine, you got paid a certain amount, a certain percentage. It was like you got 70% of it, and Epic got 30, and they've now changed that. You get 88, and they get 12.
Okay,
and
that's
part of the
pretty
reason
good.
they've cited that is because of the success of Fortnite, that they can afford to give more money to the people who make their assets.
That's good.
Fortnite is trash, but Epic Games is awesome.
Yeah.
Right? I love
it's. I mean, kudos. Okay, kudos to them for doing that, because they easily could have just kept doing what they were doing and nobody would have said anything.
I mean, I think making Unreal Engine free is
Sure,
probably one of the best things to happen to independent game development ever. Like, I think that's a huge step forward.
Yeah.
So, huge shout out to Epic Games. I've been a fan of you guys for a long time, and I'm happy to say that I still like you and your products. Not Fortnite, though.
Props to them for making Unreal free, for like personal edition, and then giving people money for making stuff.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right, and with that, that's the end of the podcast. Yeah. No more topics. And we're going to end. Thank you very much for listening.
Actually, Rory, can we go into a bit about why you don't like Fortnite? Like a little more in depth?